Welcome back to another episode of Hotel Talk. And today I'm very pleased to have with us a very dear family friend, personal friend, someone I've known for many, many years, and who we've been trying to schedule this podcast for just ages, but we're so busy. So welcome, Costas Galatariotis. Thank you, Costamo. He's the chairman of the Galatariotis Group, and he's on several boards. This is a gentleman with so many hats, such a prominent figure and supporter of Limassol, public life in every way. And I can't wait to talk to you more about everything you do.
Very nice to see you after so much talk. Organization.
Trying to do it and delaying and then business trips. And yeah, it's been good. So, Costamo, why don't we start by telling everyone a bit about you in your own words?
Okay. I was born in Limassol. I graduated high school, of course, and then after my military service, I studied in England in the London School of Economics and Political Science. And since I finished and completed my studies, I am back in Cyprus working in the family business. I'm married with 2 children. That's it.
That's it. Well, there's a lot more, I think, in between. I love, that you were at LSE. I mean, in general, your family is quite academic, aren't they? I mean, everybody has tended to go to quite good universities.
My sister in particular.
Your sister in particular, yes. I remember when I was at uni, of course, with Alexis and Stavros and having dinners with your sister. She became a professor, didn't she?
Yeah, in many fields.
Yeah, it's amazing. So did you know what you wanted to do from a young age? Because also studying political science is quite unusual for people in Cyprus. I mean, in general, we tend to go for quite vocational subjects. Everybody wants to be a lawyer, a doctor, or do business. And and I think there's less emphasis on the importance of a purely academic subject, and also that the fact that you can do. Your sister was always a role model for me in a way, and your brother George, because they love classics, and I studied classics, and the mentality here was very much like, are you going to teach or get married young? And I was like, well, no, you can.
That was a long time ago. I don't think it's anymore.
I don't know. I hope not. But did you know? I mean, from when you were young, I'm going to work in the family business. Did you at any point think you were going to do something different?
No, I think from a very young age, maybe because I was born and raised in an environment that I was hearing all the time about business and so on, because of mainly my father. But always, I had always this. I felt this hunger to go in business and not follow any academic or professions like accountant or doctor or physicist or whatever. Yes, I had that.
To carry on, the business.
I don't know if it's purely because of what I instinctively wanted, or also because of my
the environment.
The environment. But yes, I never regretted it.
So tell us a bit about growing up, being the son of such a prominent figure, because your dad was so well known, bless him. George Tavellis, you listened to his podcast, he mentioned your dad, and I think there's other people that have mentioned him as well. I think my uncle, I think Harry, so many people, talk about your dad. He was a visionary. He did so much for Limassol and for, I don't know, just so much altogether, not just the business scene.
Yeah, correct.
So how was that growing up? You were the youngest son, with that influence and role model in your life.
I was the youngest child, and because I had a very big age difference between my other brothers and sister. George is 16 years older than me, and Katia, which is the closest, is 9. So when I was growing up, basically I was growing up alone in the house because all the others were studying. So, my dad, apart from the business part, was always having people, let's say, influence at home, and we're discussing it from a very young age. I got not involved, but I got, where the scenes were played, as we say it. Have
Yeah, you were
dinners and
subjected to
exactly.
a
When
lot
you
of
are 12,
business talk.
13 and you are sitting on a
Yeah.
dinner at 13, 14, you only listen to much older people, much wiser people, of course. And it's good. It's a good university.
Yeah, definitely. A life university.
I think my dad was one of that part of generation, that kind of generation like your great
Grandfather, yeah.
grandfather did, which is, as a very, very famous saying, that they don't make them anymore. I think,
Yeah.
this generation. It's about how you conduct yourself towards yourself as such, but towards your family and the business and business associates and your social obligations and the need to help your country. And I think this is it.
Yeah, definitely. That must have influenced you quite a lot. So, how is it to manage and be part of such a big family business? Because the business, like ours, is, similar in that there's so many different hats. It's not just that there was, let's say, everybody knew the hotel, because I think a hotel is always a flagship. It's so obvious. It's there. It's brick and mortar. Everybody can enter that business. So everybody knew your family for Le Méridien for so many years. And it was very much a centre point
No,
for...
not at all. No.
You don't think?
No, I mean, as far as the overall business group, I know that hotels are more, acceptable to the eye. But first of all, business evolve. They are not the same. Yes, at times and within 2-3 generations now, as all groups, business evolve. You diversify one sector and then you invest in that sector, maybe and go to another and so on and so forth. Yes. Yeah, but don't forget the hotel business started in 1990. So
No, but that's what I mean. A lot of people knew that, and a lot of people knew the cement, because that was obviously a huge thing. But the family has and it still is, so many had the laundry. There's just so many different hats. So as a businessman within that, it's not like you go into the office with one thing to tackle.
No.
That's what I mean. You have so many different things. So maybe you can share a bit with that.
Listen, there are some basic principles in business. Either you run your own business, you're very into it, you become a professional in that business, and you have a very insightful eye, day in, day out, what's going on. Or if you want to diversify, obviously you have to hire insightful managers that have educational experience as well, which is becoming more and more important because details matter, but they are also strong in the financial part of the business. From there on, I think most or all business, even if they are of a different nature within, they have the same principles. I mean, the same principle is, first of all, you want to do a new venture. You have to study the market very well, what you want to do. You have to study within the market what niche you want to do in that market, i.e. hotel. You have to study. You want to invest in Airbnb, is a different operation than a 3-star, a 4-star, a 5-star, or a 5-star luxury. That's the one part you have to do very diligently before you decide it, if you decide to enter. The second part is you have to create a very good environment. HR is important that your staff, you lead by example, and because it's important if the big business, if you have a business that employs many people, it's important that your staff respects and what that will reflect when you are not there. Are they trying to do their best? Of course, there is nothing perfect. But it's a very important aspect of having a good HR.
Taking care of the people that work for you.
Yeah, also.
Yeah.
And
I can
especially
agree
in
more.
today's time, and especially after the last 10 years, we've seen the banks having a much more, let's say, I'll call it a savage approach to things. So you have to be very careful not to be exposed or overexposed to banks. This has always been the case, but the last 10 years it's more, it's more radical, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, the banking sector and
Yeah.
what's happened, and since 2013,
Exactly.
it's been insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are basically the general principles, whether it's a trading business, because I was in the trading business when I just came at the family business.
And
We used
what
to
were
be
you
big
trading?
importers of home appliances, furniture, foodstuffs, sugar, reinforcing steel, building materials, sanitary ware.
And that must have taught you quite a lot. That's such an experience. So we're not going to talk too much about hotels.
Okay.
Because I want to get into Limassol and the bigger picture. But because this is Hotel Talk, and you guys, for many, many years, I mean, you didn't just build it, you developed it. You took Le Méridien and indeed part of the hotel industry in Limassol to another level, especially when you did the huge renovation back in, was it 2002?
The 2000 basically
2000.
was the
When you
creation
did the
of
spa,
the thalassotherapy center, yes, and the suites and some other things. Yeah.
So, just tell us a bit about that, about hotel life, because it's not even a job; it's a life.
Yeah. I mean, the most important thing in hotels, I think, is the interaction of people with customers, and either to hear and be happy that they are very happy, or to listen with a positive view their complaints, so instead to be better and improve. And it was also very interesting and enjoyable during the renovations, of course, because it's something new coming up, always something new.
Well, it was amazing. I just remember I was just coming back from my studies and everyone was talking about it. And I remember, was it the Versace carpets you guys had? Am I remembering correctly?
No.
There was carpets, there was one designer. You had carpets from one designer.
Yeah, not Versace. It was.
It wasn't Missoni.
I don't
Was
know.
it Cavalli? I can't remember, but everyone was
Cavalli.
like, was it? Yeah, Cavalli.
Some of them. Yeah.
Some of them in your suites, and it was, I mean, it was like the peak of. I mean, it was very exciting, and the thalassotherapy unit was just so, it was almost ahead of its time for Cyprus then.
It was.
It was, yeah. And I'd say also before social media, you guys were also very progressive in the way you thought, and you did publications and had famous people staying in your hotel, interactions with your guests.
It's important.
It was always
because the best
impressive.
advertisement is the word of mouth. No matter how you advertise your product, unless people, and especially if they are people that are recognizable people, which have the thing that they are more discerning. If they talk good about you, about the hotel, I mean, it's the best advertisement you can have.
Yeah.
Provided the good operation is there. Yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can advertise whatever you want. Once you bring somebody and he's not happy, whatever you put, he will badmouth you, correctly or wrong.
That's what they say. Like one bad review can do so much damage in 100. Yeah.
It's very difficult to build, and it's very easy to undo. So you have to keep striving.
Absolutely. So what was the biggest challenge, do you think, in hotels?
Competition from other countries, not from Cyprus as such. It's always, yes. It's very, very big competition. At the time, the Dubai and Egypt market started to evolve. I mean, we're talking about 25 years ago, okay? So suddenly, I remember 25 years ago, we had a lot of, I'm talking about the touristic side of the hotel, not the business side. Cyprus was advertising and a lot of hotels were full in the winter because we were marketing as an island, a very mild winter. Suddenly Egypt and Dubai comes in, and that's totally scrapped over a second. Why? Because they have summer.
Yeah.
So one has to diversify into the business sector, and that's why in Limassol, practically all hotels are open in the winter because we have this side of the sector, the business sector, the conference sector, and so on and so forth. And I think now, I hope and I believe that with the new casino, it's going to be much better. Whereas you can see that other destinations like Paphos or Ayia Napa, because they're clearly touristic
tourist leisure,
destinations, they close.
And we're just the biggest city. We're more cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
But I think for me personally, it really hit home during lockdown how lucky we are here in Cyprus, but especially in Limassol. I mean, the weather is just so ideal in winter, and we don't want it to be summer. Who wants to live in 30 plus degrees for 12 months?
No,
I mean, it's fun.
Especially with the humidity.
Yeah, it's fun for a few months. We head to the beach, but in winter, everything is green. It's so pretty in Cyprus. You can explore. There's so many sightseeing, clean air, the walks. I mean, it's just absolutely stunning.
I agree.
So I'd love to get onto that because, I mean, you're a proud Limassolian. You've done so much for Limassol. You've been on a million boards. Maybe you can tell us a bit about Avel and everything else.
Yeah, basically it's the Chamber of Commerce that I served many years, and I still do, as a vice president for the Cyprus Chamber of Commerce, representing the hotel sector and Limassol. I joined the chamber, I think, in 1999 as a simple member, and gradually I was honored to be elected in 2014 for 2 terms. This is the maximum you can do, 6 years. And it was a time of great challenge because it was immediately after the banking crisis and haircut. But I think we were happy to see Limassol evolving very much strengthened from that crisis. I mean, a year after it was the opening of the marina, then a lot of new nice buildings, and I'm not talking only about the skyscrapers or so. Now it's the creation and opening of I think it's the biggest casino and the only one of its kind in the European Union.
Oh, in Europe.
No, in the European Union, so I think it's challenging, but I can see the city evolving, improving. But I think, and I feel very strongly about it. We have to do something about housing and about transportation. Because it's nice to have nice buildings and so on, but the people in large have to have a good life. Otherwise, it's all facade. And socially, you have to be correct because people have to be happy, or at least not be unhappy. I mean, if you take a car and you need 1.5 hours to take your kids at school and come back, you start with
you start your day not in the best mood.
The grunge. And
we know the drill.
The thing for the low-cost housing is very, very important. It's becoming very important. Young couples cannot do this.
And what do you think is the solution for that?
The solution is the government, in my opinion, to grant, not only to Limassol, because it's a general problem, but it's more vivid in Limassol and Nicosia maybe, because of the influx of many people from foreign countries creating headquarters in Limassol, which means big company comes here, hires 200 people or gets 200 people from abroad. These people need housing. These people need offices and blah, blah, blah. Once they're taken, there's nothing left affordable for the local community. I think the government should grant incentives for the first home, πρώτη κατοικία, όπως λέμε, which is easily traceable because these are the couples or people who will pay only the 5% VAT. So it's easily recognizable to whom the government has to.
Aren't they abolishing the 5%?
No. For the first, until I think it's until 120 square meters. Now, for those people, the government should grant, in my opinion, and I had suggested that to the government. I don't know. I mean, we suggested through the chamber The government has a unique nuclear weapon, which is the building coefficient. It can grant building coefficient without taking any cash flow from the treasury. So let's say that each new home, you can grant him, let's say, 50 square meters free building coefficient. He will not build on top of it because this is how much you can build, but he can sell it to a developer, get, let's say, 20, 30,000. This is the cost of the inflation of the cost of buildings. That's one solution or one suggestion. But the government has to be more innovative in creating incentives and not tax people, so that without affecting the treasury of the government, because that is very important also to be financially disciplined as a government. Well, that's one of the things. The other thing, I think we have to look at it very seriously. And 10 years ago, it should have been a joke to suggest a thing like that. I think we have to study very carefully to create like a train service between Limassol and Nicosia, because the traffic between these two cities in the morning and at night is huge. And also, we have to do something for the inner city. Small, flexible electric buses, but modern electric buses. It's one thing offering a cheaper experience, but you have to make it an experience as well. So if the experience is good, if you go in a bus that is clean, that the driver is polite, that there is a TV showing something, or
air condition.
Yeah, everything. So I don't think we should create the public transport that only people with the financial needs should go. It would be accessible to everybody. I'm not saying...
like in any city in Europe.
Yeah,
I mean people
if
don't
you
just...
go in Singapore or in Dubai, they even have high rails, and they put the electric bus on top of it, so there is no... You don't have to increase the width of the road. And we're still discussing here about diesel engine buses. We have to take away all this mentality and have to look forward and try to be better than others, not just copy. Because if you try to copy others, you end up, at best, having a good copy. This is what the Limassol has to do, I think. It's becoming very, very... very strong issue, the housing and
the traffic.
Also, if the government gives some incentives to people to go back to the country, or farmers or wine producers, to do something for them to maybe to diversify some of their educational, tepak or whatever, to have some schools in the mountains is important. Because let's say I'm from Platres or from Saitas. It's different when I know that there's a school of tepak there, 400 students, 9 months a year in the winter. It means it's more busy, it will create more business. It's not enough to have it only for holiday homes from 1% of the population. So there are things we can do.
That's a great idea. I'd never thought of something
Well,
like
we've
that.
tried, when I was in the chamber, we've tried to convince the PAC to take there, in Platres, the cooks school there. But we had some resistance from the people up there, and it was shocking for me. So they wouldn't grant the free land and so on. Eventually, they went to Paphos. That was a big opportunity. One, not saying. But people have to have the incentive to stay there, not just go for the day because it's his vineyard, but come back and live in Limassol, because it's cleaner and it will do a lot of goods from, let's say now, the fires. Okay, a lot of fires are happening because people don't live in these villages anymore. So there's no cleaning, there's no care, there's nothing left. So they are more easy to
catch fire.
Yeah.
Well, it would also solve the congestion in the cities, give more life
well,
to the
yeah.
rural, and keep the authenticity of the island, because we want everybody to be
Yeah.
in their villages. We
Yeah.
want the villages
Yeah.
to stay alive and buzzing. I
Yes,
went to
of course.
Lefkara recently,
Yeah,
and it's so beautiful now that it's being revived. Okay, Bladris has always been quite popular, but there's so many villages that it's a shame to see people not be able to stay because, as you said,
I
there's
think
no
the
schools
universities are a great tool on which to build that.
and it will be cheaper for people to get
Of
accommodation.
course, yeah,
There'll be a student vibe. There's money that's all coming from, a lot of the time, from outside, outside of Cyprus. So cash injection.
Also for Limassol, I would say another huge infrastructure project that it's been delaying for some years is we have to create a suburban highway starting from, let's say, before Moni and finishing where the new port is, so that we have a hyperban paragamtirios in Greek. Okay, all these big trucks from the port going to all directions of Paphos or Nicosia for the trading stuff. They should not go to the existing highway. It's causing chaos. All people that
And
travel,
accidents.
all people that are traveling from Nicosia or Larnaca to Paphos, they shouldn't go through our. Because it used to be a highway, now it's not a highway. It's a driveway within Limassol, the existing one.
Yeah.
So this is
And the roundabouts obviously make it even
the
slower.
three basic projects we should focus on is this. I mean, transportation within the city, public transportation,
housing.
Urban living, and
And transportation via the city, but not through it.
exactly.
I love that. So, and thank you for sharing. That was really interesting. So, we get a lot of listeners from abroad. The majority of our listeners are based in Cyprus, but many, I was looking at the stats yesterday, countries that it's amazing. So thank you, everybody who's listening. Why should any of these guys visit Limassol?
Why not?
Well, why not? I love that as well. But I mean, I can harp on until the cows come home about Limassol. I think it's amazing.
I mean,
but
the fact that it's a beach city is important, but there are other cities in Limassol that boast frontage to the sea. I think the people are extrovert here in Limassol. That's why Limassol has always been the main center of foreign investment. And I mean, take it from before the invasion. You used to have the NAAFI, the English bases. They used to be in Limassol. Then the Lebanese war. They all came to Limassol.
We came here. We're testament to that.
Fine. Then Yugoslavia, the same. Russia. Now it's become more or less global because of the new incentives that the government gave, previous and the existing government, for high-tech sector, about tax incentives and so on. And all the high-tech companies and HQ, headquartering companies, by 90% are coming to Limassol. And the only reason for not coming to Limassol or going to Nicosia is because that specific, let's say, sector has to be close to the capital. If they have a choice, they will opt for Limassol. And that's why the rent prices went so up. That's why we have to focus on the
on solutions. Yeah, I think Limassol's great.
It's vibrant. It has many industries in which it's a hub. It's not only the tourist. Actually, the tourist sector is not so important in Limassol now. It's definitely the number of beds we have are much less than Yana or Paphos.
Yeah.
But I believe we boast the best hotels by far. We are the biggest headquartering center in Cyprus. We're the second or the third biggest ship management center in the European Union. We boast farming and wineries. I mean, there are a lot of things.
Yeah, tech hub,
Everything.
Forex. Yeah, it's amazing. So, what are the most important lessons that you would like to teach your children, your two lovely children?
Thank you. Well, first of all, to be earthy. Okay. Don't live in a bubble.
Yeah.
We're trying our best to
Yeah, down to earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
The basic principles that any family wants to do, basically.
Yeah, but every family is different. And so what's important to some is not even on the radar for others. But I know
think
in your
family
family
is very important. You have to.
I was going to say your family have always been very close-knit.
Yeah.
And
If kids, they will go to their teenager age, okay? If they don't feel their parents are close to them, they will ask for help from somebody else. And that's where the problem begins.
yeah,
So I think it's important.
yeah, the family units.
Yeah.
I love that. Where do you see Limassol in 20 years? Not 5 or 10, but 20.
I can't say.
You don't have a crystal ball?
There is no crystal ball. With this rising technology, who
Yeah.
can say? But I would like to see a city being more vibrant, but more human to this local population. As we've said with the problems before. I think that's the main...
Yeah, seeing all of these things you're talking
we've
about.
passed the point of, as a city, of being financially strong. We have to go back to the people, to the average person, people on the street, because it makes no sense to have a city and then most people emigrate or go away and so on.
Yeah,
It's important, yeah.
yeah. What do you think we need to do to keep improving? I mean, I know you've said that these are the things that ideally would come to fruition, but
I think it's very
how can
important
we do
to
it?
have strong local municipal authorities.
Are you excited now for the change that it will all be centralised in Limassol as opposed to the 5 different municipalities that we
We'll
have?
see.
We'll
We'll see, because many things we hype them in the beginning, and then they turn out to be... I mean,
Yeah.
going for local community, let's say if we're going to have district periphery is good generally because you don't have to go everything through Nicosia. But it always depends from the people who are there. You can have the best structure if the people who are running it are not good enough. So that's why I'm cautiously optimistic. But I'm optimistic.
I love that phrase, cautiously optimistic. So let's get into a bit more of travel. You've travelled a lot. You've been, business trips. I can't even count how many business trips you must have done or guess. But, and also with your family. So what has been your favourite hotel or destination in the world?
Destination Sardinia, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Hotel. Okay, many beautiful hotels. Had a lovely experience in Ireland, in a nice hotel. It's a beautiful castle.
Ireland's nice. Yeah.
It's a beautiful castle, and they have completed a 1,000-year-old castle.
Not in Dublin. It was in the south.
It's in the west.
Okay.
Side, nearly.
Nice.
I think it used to belong to Sir Guinness.
Okay. Yes.
Guinness. No, Guinness.
Yeah, Guinness. Yeah, I went to the factory, the Guinness factory there.
So they've renovated a very nice company. It's called Red Carnation, if you know them.
Okay.
Family company that takes top properties and converts them into good destinations. It's a beautiful experience.
Oh, that's the main thing, isn't it? An experience. So ask everybody this, a favourite quote. What's your favourite quote?
One or two?
I'd love to. Hit us with 2.
Okay. I like the quotes from the Greek philosophers. There is one from Cleovulos, I mean, who everybody knows. It's Metron Ariston. Everything in moderation. And
My dad loves saying that. Everything in moderation.
Okay. Yeah, but it's a...
That's his thing,
way
to have
of
his
stand.
chips, his French fries on the side, and like
everything.
Everything in moderation.
And the other thing I like, it's Spevde Vradeos. It's a quote from, I don't remember, I think it was Hilonas, which means, Spevde Vradeos means, whatever you want to do, study it very diligently, take your time, but once you've took the decision, do it without hesitation. Yes. These two are, there are many quotes.
There's so many. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's lovely. Right, last question, which is the bonus question.
There?
Bonus question. So pick anyone you want. I don't know what the question's going to be. You want to
So I
read
ask
it?
you the question?
No, here, give it to me. Actually, one guest, I think it was Thalis Panaidis, he was like, I love this, give me another. And then he started asking me as well. So this is our staff have put all of these questions in. They've asked random things and they don't know who's going to get it. So you have got, where would you never want to visit in the world, even if you were paid €1 million? Is there anywhere that you wouldn't want to visit ever?
There is an island outside of, I think, Philippines,
Okay.
that it's protected by UNESCO because whoever goes there, they kill him.
Oh,
So I wouldn't go there.
okay. There
Let's
you
not go for
go.
$1 million.
Oh, you were going to say like Guantanamo or
I
something.
don't remember what is the name
Wow,
of it.
I didn't
no,
know
no,
that.
really, no, because they are indigenous people.
Oh,
They want to be left alone.
Right.
Whoever approached it, the last one was an American journalist. He went there, so they killed him.
They killed him.
I think they
yeah.
boiled him.
Oh my goodness.
It's protected by UNESCO, though.
So UNESCO are like, let's just put this on our radar so that we protect other people.
The
as
rest
well.
of the world, why not to go? I mean, they're beautiful places everywhere.
Everywhere you can find the positives.
Sure.
I love that. Cosimo, thank you so much for coming
Thank you.
on.
Thank
It's
you
been
for-
really a pleasure.
was
I
a
could
joy.
have I can stay talking to you for another 2 hours, but I know that we've got to go to our respective jobs. So it's
you
been a
very much.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.